Wow, that Cleveland Denver game. Wow. I almost had like 80s flashbacks with how the wildness of their games, which were crazy back in the day. If you were a Cleveland Brown Denver Bronco fan or you watched those crazy games, they were epic. Fumble, the comeback, all that. Jameson Winston. You ever played touch football or sandlot football and you had one guy to quarterback both teams? Except he didn't get the memo. You don't do that in the pro level. You just do it in the streets because he looked great on one side, but then he threw two pick sixes and he actually threw another interception at the end of the game in the end zone. Imagine if those 21 points, they win the game last night. Bo Nixon did throw the two picks, but it wasn't pick sixes. That was really the difference in the game. Two of Jameson's turnovers led to touchdowns with directly. And that's why he ran himself out of Tampa Bay. You remember he was part of 30 for 30, even though ESPN didn't have a feature story on him per se, but he did throw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, the first guy to do that. It was a wildly entertaining game. Sean Payton has his man in Bo Nixon at quarterback. He looked very poised, hit some big plays, but nobody was playing no defense last night. Watching that football game last night was like watching an NBA game. Anything goes. It's pretty much the last man standing and just don't turn the ball over. Because if Jameson stays consistent, they win that game. It was an even Steven game. He gave them life. Deshaun Watson is shot in terms of his arm. His arm is done, and his game is on the down. But the reality is that uh, the Cleveland got something to look forward to. They got too much talent to be just so bottom barrel, you know. But wildly entertaining game, probably the best Monday Night Football game, you know. Now, keeping it on the real, the big picture, you're gonna ask me where I look at Denver. Denver's a work in progress. They're still a young team. Um, they are um, how would I say this? They're about another year or two away from being a threat. They don't really have the, the defense isn't quite seasoned enough and they still got some things to work out. There was definitely a lot of flaws in that game because they were very fortunate to get that win, you know. But I will say this Sean Payton's got them on the right path to something, you know. In another year or two, they'll be a threat to Kansas City. I really believe that. Another year or two. Cleveland just has to be cohesive from the get up. But it was a wildly entertaining game. I mean, that was one of the wildest games I've seen because it was, think about it 41-32, and it could have been a lot more. Cleveland missed the field goal, but that's not why they lost the game. Those two bad picks were bad and lack of defense on both sides. Didn't play no defense. There was some wide open, it did feel like an inner scrimmage game, but there's some there's a lot to be had and said there. I like Jameson. He's entertaining, but he's just too wild, yo. You ain't playing for both teams, but you end up playing for both teams. And that's really what it came down to last night. You know, those kind of mistakes he made. So anyway, but tell me what you think. That's how the week 13 concludes. That was a wild Monday night football game, but Denver prevailed. I think they're now 8-5. They're on a bye week. Be interesting how this season wraps up. They definitely look like they're on the upside though. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Should have, if you like, hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true, stay you. I'm out one time. Peace.